All right, so this is Insights again. Actually, no, let's start that again. Hey guys, what's going on? This is Insights. I'm Colin Cummings, your host. I figured I should do a little intro type thing. Today's episode is Miss Selena Moon. This was a Hearty Gentleman interview between Jordan Bokser and Selena Moon. What do they talk about? Oh, the 4 seasons of an entrepreneur. That's what it was. Selena has a really, really cool insight into all that. So, as always, here I go. Gonna see what I can learn from this episode. I barely remember this whole interview, but I know it was really good. Selena's an amazing speaker. I think she has her own show now. I think it's a radio show. And Jordan is Jordan. Here we go.
With your need for service and purpose.
Yeah, I think often that.
Wow, that was amazing. I can't even, she just said so much, I can't even go through it all. Am I hearing this right? Yeah, it's good. She said so much about the evolution of, as you go through the evolution of self, or as you go through the evolution of business, you go through the evolution of self. That's so true. Like right now, I just got put into a position where, where I'm going to be doing a lot more than just running a podcast. I'm going to have to step up my leadership and do all these things for the business. And as soon as I was confronted with that, it's like I had to confront myself and see if I was ready to grow to that extent, which I am. And then all of a sudden it's like you have to call on these new traits within yourself in order to properly serve your business. So true. There's going to be a lot of that with Selena. I think there's going to be a lot of insights because she's pretty on point when it comes to entrepreneurship and self. She knows quite a bit. Back to it.
Material wealth.
That spectrum, by the way. So you can be too much into the material wealth.
I just have to say, we're only I'm only 10 minutes in, but Selena has definitely, she has tamed Jordan. He's not all bouncing around and stuff. It's I don't know. He's in a really good space. I guess she has that. And to her, very good. She has very good face. When you have very good face and connection with people, you nod when they're saying stuff, it makes it easier for me to switch to her when Jordan's talking and vice versa. Because that's a big thing. Because you don't just want it to be on the one person while they're talking. You want to be able to show that the other person is actually connecting with what they're saying. And she makes that very easy. Good face. Good face, Selena.
Or you can be too much into the service aspect. Where
I want to be the #1 supplement sales rep in the world. It's I work for a great company, so it's easy. I like what we do. But how can I use all the knowledge I've learned from such great people to sort of help it?
Wow.
Jordan said, what is the tornado at the end of the butterfly wings of that? And I get it, it's the butterfly effect, but just the way he said it. What a public speaker you are, Jordan. That was very good. I like that a lot. Look at you. Look at you. Look at you. Just killing interviews. From episode 15 to I think episode 25, he gets much better, and then from 25 on, he stays at the same skill level, but the questions that he starts asking of himself and of the guests begin to evolve. And yeah, I can't wait for everybody to see what he turns into.
And I held 3 different workshops. 2 were in Toronto.
That Jordan just said something about like the clients, about his clients, and like him thinking about like how to make them succeed and how to make them better, and how to better their practice. Like it's pretty cool. Never get to hear Jordan talk about stuff like that often. I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna make him talk about that stuff more. But yeah, it's pretty inspiring to think that somebody who's like in his position, who's hitting those kind of goals, all of a sudden feels that that's a plateau where most people would feel like they're at the top of the mountain. He felt like he was hitting a plateau and then wanted to figure out how he can like go above and beyond. That's actually really inspiring. Didn't think I'd get a Jordan insight inside Selena's episode, but I guess she just brings that out in people. That's right, Jordan. I'm not letting you take credit for it. I think she brought it out of you.
When it was in Calgary. And basically by the end of it,
We're in the society where it's like you feel that you can't just relax or surrender into to things.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's funny. The more I've been surrendering, easier life is.
And so I don't think we have to work as hard as we think we do. And that's really the notion that I feel like we're ready to just eradicate.
One big lesson that I get from Selena and this podcast is, especially with her story about how she just talked about how certain business ventures started, is that you just gotta go. It sounds so cliche, but like go with your gut, go with the flow kind of thing. It's like she kind of goes where, as she calls it, where spirit will tell her to go, and it just always works out. For me, I usually call that like my higher self. But yeah, it's really inspiring to see somebody execute like that in the business world from like such a spiritual, heart-centered place. And like I was saying in the podcast, we need more of that, I think. So that's really cool. All right, back to it.
Because if you read all these self-help, you feel like we're ready to just eradicate in 12 hours, but it's not work anymore. It's play.
Yeah.
Right?
I could do probably 10 of these podcasts in a day.
There you go.
No, I mean,
and I
like,
say I could run a big event every single week. Like I have energy for that because that's what excites me. So when you are doing what you love, it stops feeling.
Jordan has a little part in there where they're talking about surrendering and how when you're doing what you love, you know, it seems easier to do what you're doing. And Jordan's like, I could do 10 of these podcasts a day. Yeah, I'm sure you could. I'm sure it's fun. I'm sure it's fun for you. Yeah. No, never in a day ever are we doing 10. What's the matter with you? 10 podcasts. You have any idea what I'm doing while you're talking to people? Are you crazy? I'm just saying. I know. I'm just never is that happening. Not that I don't love this stuff. You don't realize what I have to do if we do 10 in a day. Okay? There's a lot of stuff we have to do. You know what we should do? We should have an episode where I do the editing. Where I do the interview. See, I'm so conditioned. Jesus. I do the interview, and he mans the cameras and the audio levels, and makes sure that our faces are in the right place and that the cameras are not about to switch off. He should do all that. I do the interview. That would be fun. I could do 10 of those in a day. Definitely. I'm kidding, Jordan. Don't feel bad. I'm just joking around.
Like work.
So doing what you love.
Just jump in here if you have a different opinion or want to add something, but I believe that entrepreneurship is just building the relationship with yourself at an accelerated rate.
Mm-hmm.
Entrepreneurship is building a relationship with yourself at an accelerated rate. Quote Selena Moon. That's actually that exactly to the point that I made at the beginning. That's exactly what it is. Because as you go through the journey of entrepreneurship, you go through the journey of self, sometimes even more than the business side of things. It's weird. It's very weird.
It's also, to me, like another path to enlightenment, because the challenges that come up really test you as a human being. Yeah.
And I get a little guilt.
Yeah.
Being like, what?
Selena was actually asking a question of, are most of your friends entrepreneurs? And I guess that's just a question I'll phrase to you guys, who are entrepreneurs. Because she was saying she kind of got triggered by her friends that she would have that weren't entrepreneurs, because they were always like, I gotta work, and you keep hearing that. And I could relate, but kind of in the sense of not wanting to hear that all the time. Like, not wanting to hear somebody be like, oh, I gotta work, and oh, work, and like, I don't know. I guess everyone's different, but I feel like if you have a dream, you should be like out chasing it, you know? Or like if you have a talent, you should be like making a business around it. I don't know. It's hard. Like when I see people just working jobs, but like they can obviously do so much more, it's sad. But at the same time, maybe that's just what they like, right? Like Gary Vee often talks about like people who are like making 50 grand a year who like watch every episode of Lost or Game of Thrones or whatever, and hang out with their kids and are part of every softball team. He's like, those people need to speak up more, because that lifestyle's okay, and it is. Just, I don't know. I always feel like if I could do it, anyone can do it. So, like, why not? Like, why not just do it? Like, why not get out there? But I guess if you don't want to, you don't want to, right? Yeah. Makes me think.
If you said, Jeff, you're LeBron James net worth now, he'd be like, what am I going to do?
This is another thing. Jordan keeps saying this. He always brings up this reference. He goes, isn't it crazy that if you gave Jeff Bezos LeBron James's money, that he'd be like, oh, no. Like, no, he wouldn't. He wouldn't be like that. Like, have you ever seen Jeff Bezos when he started Amazon? He had, like, his hair was thinning. He was just, like, his suits were too big for him. I think he was working out of a garage. He wouldn't be like, he'd be like, okay, I have, how much? I have $200 million? Okay, I know what to do. I don't know why Jordan always says that. I'm getting a little passionate. I know. But it's just because in the talking of entrepreneurs, he's not gonna be distraught with $200 million. He's gonna be like, okay, all right, I'm gonna do all this again. I'm going to become the richest person in the world again. I'm just gonna do it. And he would just work towards it. He would look at the market the same way he looked at the market when he was creating Amazon. He would look at everything and be like, okay, for my research, it looks like this is going to be the thing. And then he would attack that thing with $200 million. And he'd probably become a trillionaire given the way things are nowadays. He became a billionaire when things were just about books. So, like, you gotta think about that, right? That's just my little insight there. Because he always, you guys are just watching. He always says it. He says it all the time. It's just not true. It's just not true. Jeff Bezos is a beast. You seen the guy lately? He's bald, he's jacked, like me. It's amazing.
I only have like $500 million. Like you went from like 150 billion.
Days anymore. And after 5 years, I finally actually just a year ago decided to no longer take clients on Sundays.
That's something funny Selena said. Well, not funny, but she's talking about how she works Sundays for like 5 years. And I remember I used to actually, when I had a cleaning company, I would always work on weekends and Sunday in particular. And like her, one day I just realized it's not leaving me. Like I had a job and a cleaning company, so I'd work my job during the week and I worked the cleaning company on the weekend. But then I realized that neither of these things are like serving me the way I want them to. Like I wanted to learn video production. I wanted to learn how to use Premiere Pro. I wanted to learn how to use After Effects. So I realized that I have to give something up, and I'm like, I can't work on Sundays anymore. And then it turned into I can't work on the weekends anymore, and then it turned into like I got to get rid of this cleaning company, and that's when I exited the cleaning company. So yeah, just a thought there. This is a really cool conversation they're having about entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship? Not sure. Entrepreneurship. You know what I mean. It's a real good conversation they're having about it. And Selena's going through all the seasons, just her theory of entrepreneurship and how there's a season for each thing, you know? There's like, there's winters, there's summers, there's falls, and springs. And yeah, it's really cool to think about as she's like explaining it, and you can see the parallels between the seasons and how she's describing them and how you go through business life. Anybody who's an entrepreneur, or maybe even through life, I think you can listen to these 4 seasons and you can really pinpoint when you're going through them, and you can pinpoint which ones you're resisting, which is really cool, because Jordan was always like, he's like, if I don't have a winter, he's like, I get really anxious. And Selena was like, it's because you do have winters, just you resist them. And knowing Jordan, that's so true, because in terms of like what he does for his job, he's really good at getting in front of people and making sales. So I would imagine that like there would be no winter for him, because as soon as he feels that lull, he'll just make sure to get in front of as many people as possible, and then all of a sudden it's summer again. So yeah, it's really cool. Really cool. Interesting conversation. See, this is where the conversations start to get interesting. Like at the beginning, they're very informational, which is good. Those are good, but I like when they start getting interesting. I like when Jordan starts opening up. I like when the guests have more to say than just the thing that they're trying to sell. And it just makes for a really good conversation. Good job, Jordan. This is actually a really good interview. I think, you know what, Yoni and Selena happened on the same day. I think Jordan just got into like he got into a mode. Yoni like put him in this state where he was like asking poignant questions and actively listening. And then when Selena got here with her energy, she kind of just kept that going. She amplified it for him almost, which is really cool. It was really good meeting Selena. It was amazing. It was an amazing time. This is at night, I believe, or like evening when we did this one. And yeah, it was very interesting. Very interesting.
It was a big thing for me. Yeah. Because I feel like, and I know this does affect business as well, but I feel like ultimately the studies and what I've seen with people is people, men or women, who hold on to emotions for long periods of time actually become more robotic in nature, because they're not able to, they're holding more, maybe it's anger or frustration, and their body actually takes it.
That is a great point. Selena is just talking about people who hold on to their emotions in business, or I guess even in life, I would suppose, they get robotic. And that's so true. Anytime you see someone who's very robotic, strict in their body and the way they talk, if you dig deeper, they usually have some kind of stuff that they hold on to. Or I could even say in my life, the people who I know who are like that, they hold grudges. They hold on to grudges intensely. I have family that's like that. I have a couple best friends that are just like that, like just to a destructive level, and it's really bad. It's really bad. We're touching on some really cool stuff. Yeah, I never thought of that though. I never thought of the trend between the roboticness. Yeah, yeah. I have a family member who's just like one of my friends. Like they mirror each other almost. And they're both hanging on to things. Huh. Look at that. Thank you, Selena.
So part of, and Jordan knows this about me, part of my gift is also that I've learned how to do psychosomatic therapy, more vocal about their feelings and what they're going through. And I think that that's actually helping them to release a lot of tension and a lot of baggage and to...
Usually Jordan will he'll ask people to explain things, which I told him not to do. He has to explain it himself, as to not interrupt the person talking. But the term hold space, I'm pretty sure I know what that means, but I don't. Like, I've never got clarification on it. When someone said, like she just said, women have to hold space for men to share their feelings. What does that mean? Like, allow them, give them the freedom to? Like, what does that mean, hold space? Can someone tell me that in the comment section? What does that mean? Hold space. I just sound dumb, right? Whatever. I need to know. I want to know.
Seeing yourself can really shift a lot in terms of like, oh, that actually sounds silly to me now that I said that out loud. That's not true at all, but
That's a really good point Selena brought up about infidelity or like cheating, or like if you're insecure about your partner possibly cheating on you as a man. It's funny that she said this, and actually Bill Burr has said this as well, to like either write it down or like say it out loud to somebody, and when you do, you actually hear how silly it sounds. Like when you actually hear the reasoning behind why you're insecure about this, like it actually sounds silly. And then you can kind of look at it externally. Instead of feeling it inside, you can look at it externally and be like, that's a bunch of bullshit. And then you can like move past it, you know? Yeah, really cool. Very insightful woman, this Selena Moon, or Noreen, as some might call her.
just needed to
And
say
then
it.
because you ruminate on it. And
Exactly. Have anyone here for me? And then I realized, wait, you create your reality. I created that reality for myself. I created a whole relationship system around me where everybody relied on me and I relied on nobody.
This is actually something that I've done to myself, where all of my friends will see me as what Selena has termed the Rock. Not because I'm bald, but because I don't want, like I would often say, like I don't want my friends to feel like I feel like they'll be thrown off if the person that they always turn to is going through something. So I'm often very rock steady, as a very wise shaman put it. He said that I'm very rock steady and that people will grab onto me, you know, for that security. And like I hate the thought of someone who turns to me feeling like I've shooken, because then they won't feel secure. I don't know, it's a very weird dynamic that I'm trying to break. I'm trying to make my life more about me and less about me always worrying about other people. Because like Selena just said, you create your own reality, and I created that for myself, and I'm not sure why I did. I think it's because it's easier to look at someone else and externalize your own problems to them and then help them with their problems, because then the problem is dealt with and then you don't have to deal with your own stuff on the inside. I think that's insights are getting deep. Jesus, only with Selena's episode. I don't know if it's gonna keep getting this deep. Selena brings something out of people.
Yeah. Here's the $500.
Wow.
And she made me write down a letter to Marina,
Mm-hmm.
and then burn it.
Yep.
And I felt like a
New person.
And I thought I forgot.
Right now, Jordan's telling a story about one of his exes, which I'm not gonna name the ex, and he has to start not naming his exes either. This is what I think. I don't think you're supposed to name them. I don't know. I haven't been doing this podcast thing too long. Yeah, but I feel like you're not supposed to name your exes. So you gotta stop doing that, Jordan. I don't even know if he watches these. He should. If somebody watches this and they know Jordan, tell him to watch them, because there's notes in here for him, especially. Thank you.
I forgot about that exercise until you said it right now.
Yeah.
But
Poetry's
I'm gonna
a
write
good
that
way
book.
to get stuff out.
You motivate me to write that book.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just said that he's gonna write a book, but he hasn't written the book. Just a little. I'm just saying, Jordan, you did not write the book yet. I think his deadline is February, but I feel like it's before that. I feel like the deadline's coming. So you can expect a book from Jordan Bokser, because he said he would do it. There you go.
Yeah. You had a really great download. Actually, my biggest breakthrough happened in your talk.
On that note, wow. Before we wrap up, though, is there anything else that you would?
Man, the logo. I forgot that Selena actually gave us the meaning of our logo for the Hearty Gentleman podcast. It's a gentleman, and it's an egg, and it's cracked, and it's like cracking people open. Like that's what we do. That's what we do with the men's group. That's what we do with the podcast. We crack people open and get inside. Not like cannibals, like good people. We get inside and we help them. That's amazing. Thank you so much, Selena. That's incredible. I forgot that happened. Wow. Don't forget. I'm gonna write that down actually, because like I shouldn't forget that. Why the egg? Anytime that somebody asks why the egg, it's because the egg is a Hearty Gentleman, and we crack the Hearty Gentleman open so they can open up. So we make the gentlemen's open up. Wow. Thank you very much, Selena. Hope she doesn't sue us down the road for that. Yeah, I don't think she will. She's a good woman. Yeah. Don't sue us, please. All right, back to it.
I'd like to tell our people
That you listen to the Hearty Gentleman podcast. If you're interested in attending, and we'll set you up.
Cool.
Wow. So Selena's offering 20% off to this event if you listen to the podcast. I'm not going to tell you which event on here, because you have to listen to the podcast. That's her deal. You listen to the podcast, and then she'll give you 20% off. You have to be like, hey, I listened to the Hearty Gentleman podcast. And you know what I'll even venture to say is that you should tell us at what point in the podcast she said this. That way, Actually, you know what? No, you just have to listen to it, because if you listen to this point, I'm not going to tell you what point we're at right now in the podcast, but if you listen long enough, you'll hear that, and you'll be able to get 10% off of the event, of which I won't tell you. But there is an event happening in January. Like this January. Like, it's happening. Right now it's November. It's November 6th, 7th. And that's happening. I'm looking at my calendar, by the way. And that's happening on this is coming out on the 19th. Okay? And then that January, there's an event.
Yeah.
And who's your official podcast team while you're there?
You?
Oh. Oh, I completely forgot. Wow. Make sure everything's on point. Hey. So that was episode 17. Jordan's going to say 18 again. Again, not his fault. We were moving too fast on that day of production. Episode 17 with Selena Moon was amazing. Thank you so much, Selena. And thank you so much, Jordan. And thank you, everybody, for watching. Have a great one. Peace.